Thank you. All right, let Molly take it away.
Hi, I'm Molly Siler, and I'm presenting our paper, Structure, Agency, and Improvisation in Human-Led Digital Interactive Narrative Exercises, written with my co-authors Mira Fisher and Stephen Ware from the Narrative Intelligence Lab at the University of Kentucky. Our lab's earlier presentations today have focused on ways to automatically plan the events in a story. Our objective is to make these techniques useful enough to power an experience manager, an AI agent that coordinates the actions of characters in an interactive narrative. Planning algorithms can treat the experience manager as omnipotent within the story world, but then there's one element that they're not accounting for: the player. Player influence on the story is what makes interactive narratives a unique and compelling medium, but it means the experience manager needs to be prepared to work with player choices instead of sticking to a predetermined linear plan. At the same time, the designer may have specific intentions that they want reflected in all paths the player could take in order to ensure a coherent story. Balancing story structure and player agency is one of the classic challenges in designing digital interactive narratives, and improving the balance is a key challenge of narrative intelligence research. Humans who lead interactive narratives like tabletop role-playing games or improv theater manage this same balance with more success, often creating high agency, high structure stories even without direct coordination. So to help apply these lessons to AI, this paper presents our latest iteration in building a data set about how humans communicate and cooperate to tell stories in digital story games. To do this, we paired up people anonymously to play a story game together. One user was the player who interacted with the story world through a single character and only observed that character's immediate surroundings. The other user was the game master, or GM. They controlled the NPCs and had discretion over whether certain actions succeeded, like whether attacks landed or missed. Along with control over when the player is allowed to act, these abilities gave the GM a similar level of story control to an AI experience manager. Gameplay was done through a hyperlinked browser interface that looked like this. Participants played a story game we call The Crown, centering around a power struggle over a stolen magical crown. The player was free to pursue any of 5 endings corresponding to each of the 4 NPCs or their own character using the crown to become the monarch. Each character had a variety of ways to accomplish their goals. To get an item they want, a character might offer a trade, or charge in and take the item violently, or maybe drink an invisibility potion and pickpocket it. This setup lets us examine how people do goal recognition on each other in a non-trivial way. There were 34 game sessions total, 24 of which had complete data. Our data set consists of 3 main elements. First, there's a log of all the choices that the users made. Second, periodically throughout gameplay, we queried the users to rate narrative structure and personal agency on a 5-point Likert scale. Finally, after each game ended, we showed users actions that had happened in the game and asked, "Why did you choose this action?" or "Why do you think your partner chose this action?" In our paper, we test some hypotheses using our data, relating structure and agency ratings within and between 2 partners in a session, and relating these ratings to how well users understand each other's choices. Our paper also presents a framing of 2-player asymmetric digital story games that draws on ideas from improvisational theater to characterize role interactions and experiences of agency. Both participants have a role in constructing the story through offers in improv terms, while GMs and players have distinct capabilities in terms of how they can make and respond to those offers. We examined stories from our game logs where the users facilitated high agency experiences, as well as misspun tales and why things might have gone wrong. If you want to explore the data from this study yourself, you can use the address or QR code on screen and then click on the 2024 dataset link. Visit our poster for more information about our study. Thank you.